everybody? Craig DeLuz here from the Firearms Policy Coalition. I know it's late on a Friday afternoon. I know you probably got other things that you'd like to be doing, but I had to come to you to talk to you about something that's really important. Now, this is a really big weekend for college football. I don't know about the rest of you, but I really get into watching college football, at least especially on this first weekend. Now, that's why this story, what I'm about to tell you, is even more important. Now, there was a story that was reported on Fox News. It was originally reported by a gentleman out of Montgomery. But basically, during the teleconference for the SEC, the Southeastern Conference, kind of the preseason teleconference, there was a reporter named Matthew Stevenson. And he asked every single coach a question regarding whether or not they had a policy prohibiting the legal ownership of handguns by their players. Now, he made it real clear. He kind of distinguished between handguns and hunting, because he knew, probably being in the South, he probably kind of knew that a lot of the players were into hunting. So he made sure to distinguish between that, as well as the university policies. He wanted to know if the coaches, if the athletic programs had policies prohibiting individual ownership or legal ownership of firearms or handguns by their players. Now, the uproar was because it sounded like from the coach from Missouri, what's his name, Barry Odom. It sounded like Barry Odom had a policy that prohibited his players from owning firearms. Now, I'll read the quote to you, and you tell me what you think, okay? So, he said, yeah, we've got policies within our program and obviously within the university on a number of things, and handguns would be one of those policies, yes. Then he goes on to say, if there's a handgun issue, we deal with it. And not allowed in the program. So you can see where people could hear that and believe, well, no, they're saying that handgun ownership is not allowed. Now, not long after that, the university media department basically put out a clarification. And in that clarification, they said that the university does not have a program prohibiting their students or their student athletes from individual ownership of firearms. Now, I think the reason why it became such a big deal, though, why Missouri became such a big deal, was because one of the law professors there at the University of Missouri is actually suing that campus, suing that university, because they have a policy of no concealed carry or no carry on their campus, even though state law says different. So I think that's why it was a big deal. And because just listening to the statements, you can see where, okay, maybe I can see where he didn't communicate real well. But there were some SEC coaches who communicated real well and made real clear what their policy was. Let me tell you about some of those. So here's a guy from Mississippi State University, Dan Mullen, there in the SEC. He said, we have a no weapon policy on the team that, I don't think there's any need for our guys to carry weapons. We kind of explained to our guys, if they're in a situation where they're carrying a handgun, they probably need to try and avoid those situations in general. Now, my question for Mr. Mullen is this: what situation is that? Being a legal resident of the United States with the constitutionally protected right to own a handgun? Or being a resident of the state of Mississippi where you can obtain the right to legally carry a handgun? Which one of those situations does he think that they need to avoid? But wait, there's more. Oh, here's a really good one. Now, this is University of Kentucky coach Mark Stoops. Now, okay, he's kind of vague, so tell me how you would interpret this. We do not allow any handguns. I have made it very clear to them that I do not want them owning a handgun, even if they have a legal permit. I make it my policy to tell them no guns, and come explain to me why they need a gun, because we definitely do not need a gun living in Lexington, Kentucky. So That's my policy. So, the Supreme Court of Mark Stoops now has the right to determine whether or not his athletes have a constitutional right to keep and bear arms. Once again, we're not even talking about carrying. We're not talking about carrying on campus. We're not talking about carrying during the program. We're having it with them at the program. We're talking about the right to own a firearm. That is what Coach Mark Stoops believed. But wait, we're not even close. We're not even close to done. Here's one of my favorites. Wait. Let's go here. I want to save him for last. We're going to go to the coach of Vanderbilt University. Vanderbilt, where's he at? Where are you at? Mr. Derek Mason. He says, I don't believe, it's kind of funny how these coaches all say, like, it's obvious. I don't believe, handguns are necessary for where they're at and for what we do. But when he's talking about, then he says, he kind of tries to distinguish, hunting is different. Hunting is different, but when we're talking about handguns, on this campus at Vanderbilt University or any other place, I don't believe there's a need for it. So I'm trying to figure out. Now, last I checked, the Second Amendment said absolutely nothing about need. The Second Amendment is about a right, a constitutional right to keep and bear arms. It really doesn't matter, Mr. Mason, what you think your players need. They have a right, and you are not allowed to take that right away from them. Well, let's go. I got one more quote here for you. You're going to love this one. Now, this individual, the coach at Texas A&M, Kevin Sumlin, earns $5 million a year so that he can say madness like this. We have a no handgun policy here, and as we've had since I've been here. And he made it clear again later. We've had a no handgun rule on our team since we've been here. Now, I don't know who these coaches think they are. I don't know what makes them believe that they have the right to take away anyone's right. But folks, for those of you out there who believe that this is no big deal, I want you to ask yourself this question. What if they said that their players didn't have a right to go to church? They didn't have a right to go to church in their program because the coach didn't see any need for them to go to church. What if they took that right away? How would you feel about that? Would you be okay with that? How about their right to put a password on their phone, right? Because they have a right to privacy. What about that? How would you feel about that? I mean, folks, here's the thing. These people believe that they have the authority because they are college football coaches. They have the authority and that they have the right to take away the rights of their athletes. Now, mind you, at most of the universities that we're talking about here in the SEC, at a good number of them, they actually have policies that disarm individuals when they're on campus. Meaning if you're a student, faculty, or just visiting the campus, even if you have the right to legally bear arms anywhere else, you don't have the right to carry on a campus. I don't want you to take my word for it. I want you to go to our website. Go to firearmspolicy.org/SEC. That's Southeast Conference. So you guys know what it is. This is the SEC conference. Firearmspolicy.org/SEC. I want you to go there. I want you to listen to the full statements that were made by each and every one of these coaches that I just mentioned. And after you hear that, if you believe that they're wrong, I want you to tell them so. I want you to sign the petition telling them that you believe that college football players or college athletes do not give up their rights just to be a student athlete. So I want you to help us out. Help these individual students out. Let them know that their rights matter. All right? Once again, firearmspolicy.org/SEC. Folks, this is clearly a fight for civil rights. We need to use them or we are going to lose them.
If you like these updates, please share them with your friends and subscribe to our YouTube channel.